going on, hobby family? It is your boy K-Dub, and this is K-Dub's High Five, 5 rapid fire questions with your favorite hobby faces. And today, friends, it's one of the Twitter hobby favorites, the influencer of influencers, the face and the body behind the Sexy Tom movement, my good friend Tom at Tom P. Willis on Twitter. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good, K-Dub. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I got to say, you make this interview look really good, man. You got so much right now. You are swagged out.
Yes, and I tell everybody it's just so I look professional. And it looks like I'm looking at the camera, but I'm looking at you. So I'm courteous to the viewer, and I'm courteous to the the person that I'm spending time with. So it works out well.
Well, if that is professional, I've been doing it all wrong, my friend. Well, how this works, man, I got 5 questions, all hobby related. I'm going to throw them at you one right after another. You ready to take on the high five?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, man, I don't know really much about your collecting story. I know Tom, the person, but I don't know Tom, the collector. Talk to me a little bit how you got into sports cards. How did you get into the hobby? Like, how did that come about for you?
Well, my dad, he's the big influence. And 1987, he just kind of he liked old things. He's no longer with us, but it was like we're doing coins. And then I think coins kind of led to baseball cards. So like 87, 88, really, we all had 88 sets. My brother had the 88 score. My mom had 88 Donruss. I had the 88 tops. So that was our big year. And then after we were still living in Tennessee at the time. We moved out to Colorado. And then after a year or two of doing various jobs, my dad bought a convenience store with a guy, and he bought, cases for his store. And we just going until about 93, 94. I stopped baseball with like 92, like Upper Deck. And then I was doing like basketball and football because, Jordan, a little more exciting than baseball. The strike, kind of happened. So there's some lost interest there. And then I didn't do anything until like 2011. My little brother, Daniel, he wanted to start collecting cards again. And he just, when you have someone like that you're tight with to start a new hobby or renew a new hobby, it's just so much more exciting. So that's how I got back. And I've been back since then. Like I haven't taken any breaks. It's been a little bit there or, a lot of it here and there, just depending on the years and how they've gone.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, that kind of leads us into question number 2. Who have been some of your biggest influences of the hobby? And maybe you can speak to a little bit more about your dad or your brother, but also kind of the Twitter hobby, kind of who have been some of your influences there as well.
Well, yes, without my dad, I wouldn't be collecting. And that also goes for like, he bought me comic books, I've sold old comic books, coins, I still have all that stuff. So that kind of ignited my whole passion for collecting. He was also why I got into video games, why I have a video game collection that's pretty massive, not with valuables, and then my brother, he's the reason I came back. He's dipped out kind of, he'll like buy, he's like intense for a year and then like nothing for 2 or 3 years. Well, it leaves me behind, but those are my biggest obvious ones. And my little brother still is a reason why I'm collecting. For Twitter, it's really people like yourself, Watch the Breaks, Hacker, Che, Chris, those, you guys were the big, like, kind, nice, patient kind of, like with new people and other people.
For sure.
Kind of like what I want to be. How I find friends is I find my flaws, and then I find people that like, do well with the flaws I have, like patient. Not a patient person, but if I see someone be patient and explain to someone on Twitter, then I'm like, I need that in my life. So I gravitate towards those people. And naturally, that's kind of how it is in real life for me too.
Yeah.
And, talking about it and explaining it like that is weird.
No.
It's like, oh, you have this quality. I want to be your friend. Well, I admire you.
For sure.
Other reasons why I want to be your friend, but those are the big ones. They're the friendliest. Che and Chris, got me into doing the shows and stuff.
Absolutely.
With the racks, Watch the Breaks, with interacting with new people, and you're that same way. I've done racks with you, and we do posts where you're like, hey, let's spread this around, and I'm like, that's what I want to see everybody interacting together and not coming together and just talking about something, even if we disagree, instead of, fighting. So
for sure. No, and you mentioned some awesome dudes there. Hecker, Chris, Ivan, man, those are some of the pillars of the hobby community for sure. And like you said, they're the guys that are doing it right. So surround yourself with the people you want to be like. It makes sense, dude.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the cards, man. Is there a grail card out there for you, Tom? And what is it and why?
It would be a dual auto John Elway, Peyton Manning in a Broncos uniform autograph. Okay. That's it. You know, it doesn't matter if it's number 2 1,000,000 or whatever. Obviously, the Broncos quarterbacks, Broncos are the biggest thing sports-wise for me. You know, like I would set fire to the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Rockies for Broncos to win 1 Super Bowl. Like entire franchise is down for 1 more Broncos Super Bowl. Not the Avs, because you know, the Avs when they first came, very passionate. You know, we won the cup the first year, and I got into hockey as I was able to have a team finally, and it, you know, worked out so well. So I'm passionate about that. But the Broncos are way above the others. So, you know, the quarterback that I grew up with that, you know, won my first Super Bowls, and then I'm a Tennessee Volunteers fan. You know, I grew up in Tennessee, so I liked him before. And then when he kind of came here, it was like a dream come true. And then having him win a Super Bowl, you know, it's like the best of both worlds. A second grail card would be like a Joe Sakic, Patrick Waugh, Peter Forsberg, you know, triple autograph, or like a combination of those 3 stuff. That would be like a super amazing card. But yeah, those 2 are my grails. For baseball, you know, I've liked so many baseball players. Like Ryan Sandberg was my favorite growing up. Then, you know, I did like McGuire. You know, the Bash Brothers were so cool, but now that's fallen off for me. Arenado's my current favorite player, but you're never going to see a Ryan Sandberg, Nolan Arenado dual autograph, you know? So it's like, so, you know, it'd just be like a card, like that's, you know, from one of those players. Baseball for me is not about grails. Baseball to me is about like books and binders. Yeah. So baseball's quantity. I would want like a lot of a star player, or like a lot of their rookie cards. Football and like basketball even, or like hockey, you know, like a Nikola Jokic, you know, rookie auto would be like my grail card right now. But so that's kind of like where I am with that. But yeah, like a John Elway, Peyton Manning, both in a Broncos uniform, dual auto, probably tops 5 stars, something like that from way back would be pretty amazing.
That would be pretty nasty. I think if I want to remember right, I think there might be a national treasure Elway Manning. I think Hackler mentioned it when he was on the High Five.
So that might be. Yeah.
They are out there. I don't know where they're at.
I've seen them, but you know, even like 5 years ago when cards weren't as crazy, it was still like I'd never be able to afford one. Now it's like,
forget about it. Oh, well, let's talk a little bit about the product. You know, if you had the option to rip any box you wanted to rip, money's not an option. What are you going to rip and why?
You know, the thing that I like the most is National Treasures. You know, I would just rip that. You know, if I like a case a year, you know, would be fun for like every sport. You know, football especially, you know, just open up a case and see all the cards, because, you know, it's just so much fun, you know, because there's like old stars and there's rookies, and then there's, you know, random weird cards like Heinz Ward, you know, like that's awesome, you know. You're not opening a box of anything expecting a Heinz Ward patch or, you know, auto, but when those like great side players that made like a big impact when you were watching, you know, pretty awesome. So that would be it, you know. And, you know, it'd be nice if it was kind of all around. Like if it was hockey, it'd be the cup, but you know, I don't like Prism at all. I hate Prism. I hate the chase. I like autographs. I like patches. So that's the, you know, anathema of what I collect. So yeah, National Treasures is the kind of stuff I like. I like the, you know, the big thick patch cards with an autograph that, you know, smells like farts because, you know, it's game used, game worn. So absolutely. That's my favorite stuff.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. All right, man. I got one more question for you. I love your personality on Twitter. I feel like for the most part, you're always trying to, you know, bring light and positivity. But let's talk about the hobby community just as a whole. How have you seen kind of the Twitter hobby community, or maybe, you know, other hobby communities you're a part of, but I know that you and I kind of connected on Twitter. How have you seen that kind of positively impact your life, help make you become a better person or impact your life in a positive way?
I am open with my mental health and, like depression and, other things so Twitter hobby, when it's all internet is pretty much toxic, not all the time, but it will eventually happen somehow. Maybe not to the point where it's like that bad, but what I like is like, I know, like I'm going to open up Twitter and I'm going to see something toxic, but besides that, I'm going to see like 4 or 5 people looking for cards that I could just retweet, or try to sell a card and or just showing off a card and just, like, hey, that's cool. I like it. So it's kind of like, my toxic, unhappy depression is like attracted to the social media thing because, that's kind of how a lot of people are. They, that it fills a need for people that, are struggling. Yeah. But I also like can move past that and I can just kind of focus on the stuff I like. And then it's helped me, just kind of be like positive, with yourself and Shay. It's like, okay, I want to be positive. I look for those posts and I try to retweet those and I try to get that out. And not to be, it's not like a phony or like anything like that. It goes back to like, these are the things that I admire and this is what I want to build. And this is what I want my social media to be like. So if other people are following me, they'll hopefully like the same thing because they're following me, but they'll see the positivity and they'll see past the negatives. So that's kind of what I want to do. And it's very important. I keep saying this to people, but they never listen. A retweet is worth like 100 likes. If you see something you like, don't like it, like and retweet it. You want to put that out there. You want to share it. I mean, there's some stuff you don't want to share that you might like, but we're going to see it anyways, liking whatever. But just try to retweet the things you like more. And that's how you build the hobby to be positive. Every week we talk about the hobby drama, is this a real person? Is this a real account? This kid scammed me. This person scammed me. But if and that's going to happen. But if we're moving to like, okay, I'm retweeting K-Dub when he's talking about like, hey, show the picture of you and your girl or your wife, you and your partner to be, more inclusive because, the hobbies make everybody.
Absolutely.
So that's this kind of thing, like, we all try to even have like, hey, I'll even do it. Like, hey, here's a picture of my dog. Show me something that made you happy today. Because
love those.
Up a positive because I need it. It's not trying to get likes. It's like, I'm down. I know other people are down. Let's just show off some stuff that makes us happy and, create a little positivity. So it helps me not, just lay in bed and mope. I'm in bed trying to get better, and that's what's changed for me is just being able to do that and not like actually sometimes I actually do influence things. It's kind of weird when that happens. Let's try to make things fun or silly or goofy. That's kind of my sense of humor. It's like I'm going to be goofy and say something that's totally out of the at left and just try to get people to not focus or dwell on what they're trying to get to and be like, yeah, you know what? It's not as bad as I'm making it out to be. And, we can have fun. So that's what I'm trying to do. And
I love it.
It's like that. And that's what I really love is, finding like-minded, fun, awesome people.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I got a bonus question, man. I love everything that you just mentioned. But one thing that you mentioned was, bringing positivity, smiles to the timeline. And there's a sexy Tom movement that has happened on Twitter, man. And it makes me smile every time I see it. And I'm seeing more and more of it. How does this come about, dude? Like, you got this picture of you posed next to a fireplace that people are like photoshopping and tweaking out and doing, edits to. Like, how did that happen?
I was doing I told Shay to send me a bunch of videos of him saying Shay in like weird ways or different ways. And then I was going to copy them and like add my own flair to it. So that picture is actually from a video of me laying by there. My wife's idea, by the way. And I was just like, Tom, because it's Tom, because we're going to start doing shows again. We took, like a 4-month break after our, the fundraiser for the Jed Foundation. So, but that still was just like so funny to me, like hilarious, that I kind of used it. And then, some people started seeing it and they thought it was funny, and, like the feet pictures, but it's not as weird as the feet pictures, but it's funnier than the feet picture, I think, anyways. And then, I'm into NFTs. I'm not like a super crypto NFT bro person, but I like the collecting aspect, and I really like the art aspect. So I was just like, hey, as a joke, I'll make like a couple hundred of them. People could buy them. They're like $10 on, OpenSea, if you're into NFTs. And, I was like, I just went through a whole bunch of like filters and used the photo. But then I was like, if anybody wants to make their own, like I'll add them to the collection. And if they sell, I was just going to give them, but none of them sell or sold, but they're all still funny to use. So I kind of post them with whatever music I'm listening to. Usually if I'm at work, it's like hard rock or like emo music, like punk, pop, emo, just to kind of get the energy going.
Yeah.
Whatever like dark lyric I'll have, I'll put like one of those sexy poses with it. Yeah. It's just kind of like, I don't know, just something fun and different to do. It's kind of like throwing back to MySpace, it's like, here's a picture of me and here's my emo lyrics, that are all supposed to be cryptic, but it's not like, it's a Spotify playlist, it's like daily mix 2 or daily mix 3, or how they do it for those. Yeah. I'm not specifically listening to songs to like feed my mood. I'm just picking a playlist. So it's like I'm trying to be cryptic, with these emo lyrics, like something's really going on. It's just kind of like making fun of MySpace, poking a little bit fun at myself, but I'm actually having fun with it. So it's not like, it's not mean-spirited in any ways, but it's just kind of fun. And, people laugh and dig it. And, so if people laugh and you're laughing and having fun too, it's a really great feeling. So
it's a beautiful thing, man. And most importantly, you're bringing sexy back to the hobby, man, because we need that.
Someone's got to, man. I mean,
someone's got to do it, man. You are the leader. You are the leader in this charge. So
I want to say, surprisingly, and the hobby has a ton of really good looking people.
Agree.
They're like, I don't think they have the self-confidence. And that's also why I try to pump people up, but like, be confident, stupid. You're a good looking dude. It's what I want to tell people. Like, you're a good looking cat, be confident. Like, oh yeah, this happened. No, man, you're a good looking dude. Good things gonna happen to you. You're a good looking lady, because all our lady friends out there.
Sure.
Yeah, then our hobby has a bunch of smart people, a bunch of kind people, a bunch of sexy people. It's kind of crazy,
Oh, well, that's a beautiful way to end, man. That is what the hobby is. So we got a high five. We got a high five at the end. Throw it up here. Boom. I appreciate you joining me, Tom. You can follow Tom on Twitter for sure. I know he's on other socials as well, at Tom P. Willis. You can also follow me if you're bored, at Mr. K-Dub. Tom, I appreciate this, man. You are the good, my friend. Reminder to all you guys, be the good. Y'all take care. See you guys next time on the next high five.